Do you know why people fail? Because they don't make the decision to be successful. The reason why people fail is because they stop. And they stop believing in what it was they set out to do. They stop believing in themselves. They literally just stop. And they get into a routine that's familiar and that may be producing comfortable results. Now remember, we're talking about success and beyond. We're talking about achieving things and doing things and being the kind of person who is a success, right? These are things that actually are meaningful to you, that matter to you. The reason why people fail so often is because first, they haven't even identified what's important to them and what would be meaningful to them. And then secondly, they get caught up in the doing of the things that aren't even that important to them. They're doing it because they think that they should, or they've been told to do it by somebody else who might know better. The only person who's actually living your life is you. So no one can crawl into your body and feel your feelings for you. Nobody can go into your head and think your thoughts for you. Nobody can live your life for you. And so that's why it's so important to first scrap everything, clear the slate. Remember that you are not your thoughts. You are not something, some physical body. You're not something that just is existing. You're so much more than that. I believe that we are basically spirits inside of these physical bodies. And that spirit in us is unlimited. It is driven by the energy source of love. And so if you let yourself focus in, dial real close into what it is that you really are, then soon you'll realize what's possible for you. And that's exactly what happened for me. See, I remember being 18, and 18 years old was a really pivotal moment because in our family, 18 was when you're supposed to grow up, become an adult, and start living your life for real. That was a lot of pressure at 18 years old. And I remember having the kind of personality at that time that whatever it was to be done, I was gonna do it because that's what was gonna be done. I was a little bit thick-headed back then too. I was stubborn, I was a little egotistical, definitely passionate, definitely purposeful, but sometimes I worked against myself because I would do, and never really stop and think about why was I doing what I was doing and who was I becoming in the process. So 18 years old, I hit a pivotal moment. I actually started to contemplate life and death. Now, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually suffered from depression. And that was something that I had no idea what it was until I started researching it because I just knew that no matter what I did and how hard I worked, I always went home feeling unsettled. I always had this feeling inside that I could have done more, I could have been more, I should be doing this and I should be doing that and I've got to do more, I've got to keep going, all of that. Yes, I was persistent, but the feeling behind all of that was at the end of the day, I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't feeling in my right self. And that to me was a problem. It wasn't a problem necessarily in the earlier ages, but at 18, it was a real problem because I didn't want to just do. I wanted to really be someone who was worth being. I wanted to look in the mirror and really love what I see and what I saw. I wanted to be the kind of person that I looked up to and that I wanted to exemplify for possibly my future children or even for a legacy to come. So here's the reality. I was contemplating suicidal thoughts. I was contemplating things that made me really just want to leave the planet. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I didn't want to go deep anymore. I didn't want to feel anymore because I was feeling so bad on the inside. And I know that this is often, a lot of people struggle with this, and we never talk about it. Now here's what I've discovered over the years. At that moment, that pivotal moment, a decision can be made, all right? If you decide in that moment what is truly important to you, and you decide that you will not do anything else but that thing, the decision can actually guide the rest of your life, or even for the short amount of time coming up. If you don't decide, you're basically choosing a default life. Now, after having that experience of becoming a little suicidal, this is something that really broke my heart, is I actually tried. I actually tried to kill myself and brought the knife to the arm. This is deep stuff. I never told anyone about this. I did it by myself, alone, in a ditch, about 5 kilometers from my grandma's house. What I realized in the moment was that I couldn't do it. I couldn't go forward. You know, even a little bit of that sight of blood, I couldn't do it. And so I sat there and I bawled my eyes out. And I made a decision right then and there. I asked myself, if I don't want to die, then what do I want? I want to live. And I want to live an extraordinary life. I want to live a life that's worth living. So that decision crafted the rest of the days that were to come, up until this day, today. It was a pivotal moment. Now, the sad part is sometimes as human beings, we wait until a terrible moment like that to decide. And I'm urging you by watching this right now that you might not have to wait until you're contemplating life or death. What you do need to do though is make a decision. And the decision is about the kinds of actions that you're going to take moving forward. I've been there, I've done that, and you might be in a similar situation. So I always promise mini breakthroughs at the end of my videos, and I really want you to get some clarity, but not just clarity, I want you to live an extraordinary life as well. Instead of looking at life as this big thing, let's talk about what would actually make you have an extraordinary day. And that's why I break things down to these little manageable items. And I do that by looking at, well, what's important to me, number one? And then number two, how can I express that in my day-to-day living? In fact, what I've gone ahead and prepared for you is an activity sheet. It's going to be a free download, and it will actually help you design your ideal day, which will then help you live your extraordinary life. Enough talking, and let's get into some action. Go ahead and download that free PDF right now. And secondly, make sure you subscribe. If you love this, go ahead and share it with some friends, because at the end of the day, what I really want is for you to have success and beyond, and for you to have that wonderful impact on those around you.